Welcome back to the channel JF Coin, my friends. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of American coins and one of the most legendary pieces of United States history that collectors love to talk about. We are going to explore the story, the design, the value, and the hidden treasure that sits inside the small copper coin that many people once overlooked. Yes, I am talking about the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny, a 1-cent coin that is now worth much more than its face value. This coin has become a true collector's gem, and it carries both history and money-making potential. Stay with me until the end because I am going to share not only how much this coin is worth today but also why some rare examples can bring surprising amounts in auctions. Let us begin with a little history. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. It became the very first coin to feature a real person on a United States cent. Before that, coins often carried Lady Liberty or symbolic images, but never the face of a president. This design choice was made to honor Lincoln's legacy and his role in holding the nation together during the Civil War. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and his initials VDB can be found on some early issues. By 1942, America was in the middle of World War II. The nation was pouring its resources into the war effort, factories were working overtime, and even materials for coins became a national concern. The 1942 penny was struck in the traditional bronze alloy made up of about 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This would actually be the last year before the dramatic change that came in 1943 when the mint switched to steel pennies coated in zinc because copper was needed for ammunition and war equipment. That means that the 1942 penny is one of the final wartime copper wheat cents before the famous steel cents appeared. The obverse, or front of the coin, shows Abraham Lincoln's profile facing right with the words "In God We Trust" across the top, Liberty on the left side, and the year 1942 on the right. The reverse of the coin displays the classic wheat ears design with the words 1 cent in the center, United States of America just below, and E pluribus unum on top. These wheat stalks give the coin its famous nickname, the wheat penny. Now let us talk about the value. The face value of this coin is only 1 cent, but in today's collector market a 1942 wheat penny can be worth much more. The average circulated coin, the kind you might find in old jars or inherited collections, is worth between a few cents and a couple of dollars depending on condition. But when you start looking at coins in better grades, uncirculated condition, or rare mint errors, that is when the value jumps dramatically. A coin with a sharp strike, strong luster, and no wear is what collectors crave. The Philadelphia Mint produced the 1942 penny with no mint mark under the date, while the Denver Mint used a D mint mark and the San Francisco Mint used an S mint mark. All three mints produce large numbers, but collectors always chase the higher grade examples. For instance, a regular 1942 Lincoln wheat penny in circulated condition might be worth just a few cents, but in uncirculated mint state condition these coins can sell for $10, $20, or even more. Exceptional examples with brilliant red luster can fetch even higher amounts. And here is the exciting part. Rare and ultra-high-grade examples of the 1942 wheat penny have sold for hundreds of dollars at auctions. In fact, some pristine pieces graded by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC have crossed values over $42 and even higher depending on demand and bidding wars. For collectors, finding a coin in top condition is like discovering a hidden treasure chest. But wait, there is more. Some 1942 pennies are known for minting errors or rarities. These include doubled dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and even planchet errors. Coins with these mistakes are highly sought after and can raise the value significantly. Imagine holding a small coin that most people would overlook, only to find out it has a rare error and is worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That is the magic of coin collecting. The story of the 1942 wheat penny is also the story of a nation at war. Every coin struck that year circulated through the hands of soldiers' families, factory workers, and everyday Americans doing their part to support the war effort. Each penny carried a piece of history, and today it continues to connect us with that important chapter in time. So, how can you know if you have one of these valuable coins in your collection? First, look at the date and see if it reads 1942. Then check for the mint mark below the year. No mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, a small d means Denver, and a small s means San Francisco. Next, examine the condition. If it is shiny, with full details, no wear, and maybe even has a red or reddish-brown tone, then you may have a coin worth far more than just 1 cent. If you notice doubling on the numbers or letters, or unusual marks that indicate an error, then your coin could be extremely valuable. Collectors all over the world love wheat pennies because they are affordable to start with yet full of history and potential surprises. Many people began their coin collecting journey by searching through rolls of pennies and finding wheat cents from the early to mid-1900s. The 1942 penny is a favorite because it represents the last full year of traditional copper before the steel cent experiment. Today, the general market value for a 1942 penny in average condition is modest, but if you have a gem example, the price can rise to $42 or more. The best advice is to keep an eye out, do not overlook old pennies, and consider having them graded if you believe they are in excellent shape. In conclusion, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny is more than just a coin. It is a piece of history, a memory of wartime America, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln, and a valuable collector's item that could put money in your pocket. Whether you have one in a coin jar, a family heirloom, or you are searching through rolls from the bank, always keep your eyes sharp. That 1 cent coin could be worth a lot more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed learning about the history and value of the 1942 wheat penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you do not miss our next deep dive into rare and valuable coins. Share this video with friends and family because who knows, someone out there may already have this treasure hiding in plain sight. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep collecting, keep searching, and keep discovering the hidden wealth of American coins. Do you want me to also make this script longer with more filler storytelling so it easily passes the 10 to 15 minute YouTube watch time range? Today we are going to unlock the story of the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny. A coin that at first glance might look like an ordinary old cent, but in reality it carries fascinating history, hidden details, and a market value that surprises many collectors. Stay tuned until the very end because we will explore everything from its origin and design to the current collector's market, where this humble coin can fetch up to $42 in the right condition. The year 1946 was a turning point in the United States. World War II had just ended, soldiers were coming home, and the nation was entering a new era of recovery, hope, and rebuilding. During this time, the Lincoln cent was already a beloved piece of American currency. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin was the very first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Its obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, proudly displays the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, with the words Liberty on one side and the date 1946 on the other. Above Lincoln's head we see the motto "In God We Trust," which has been a cornerstone of American coinage since the early 20th century. The reverse of the coin is equally memorable. Known as the wheat penny design, it features 2 stylized wheat stalks curving upward along the edges, framing the bold words 1 cent and United States of America. Above those inscriptions rests the phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. This classic wheat reverse was struck from 1909 until 1958, after which the design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial. For collectors today, the wheat design is considered one of the most nostalgic and beloved series in American numismatics. Now let us talk about the 1946 issue itself. This was the very first full year after the war when coin production returned to normal. During World War II, the composition of the penny had actually been changed because copper was needed for ammunition and military equipment. In 1943, for example, pennies were struck in zinc-coated steel, giving them a silver appearance. By 1944, the mint returned to using a copper-based alloy, sometimes even recycled from spent shell casings from the war. But by 1946, the mint had settled back into using a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which continued for decades. That makes the 1946 penny a symbol of post-war stability and return to tradition. Minting of the 1946 wheat penny took place at 3 locations. The Philadelphia Mint produced the largest number without any mint mark. The Denver Mint produced coins with the small d mint mark beneath the date. And the San Francisco Mint struck coins marked with an S. While all 3 versions are collectible, the mint marks can make a big difference in value, especially in higher grades. Now here is where things become even more interesting. For a coin that was made in the hundreds of millions, collectors may think the 1946 penny has no special value. But that is not true. Even a common circulated example has historical charm and is worth more than face value to collectors. In average circulated condition, these pennies trade for a few cents, but when you move into higher grades, the value begins to climb significantly. Uncirculated examples with beautiful luster can be worth several dollars. In gem quality, with sharp details and nowhere, a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny can reach into the tens of dollars. And certain high-grade examples have been auctioned for over $100, depending on color designation and grading. For today's collectors, the market value of a 1946 penny in nice condition is often around $42, which may surprise many people who still think of it as just a penny. The key is condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a flawless mint state coin. If you happen to find a 1946 wheat penny with bright red luster, strong details in Lincoln's hair and beard, and no scratches or wear, you might just be holding a treasure that collectors are eager to pay top dollar for. But the value of this coin is not only in dollars. It carries a story of America in the 1940s, a period of sacrifice, victory, and renewal. Every 1946 penny was touched by history, exchanged by Americans in a time of great change. Perhaps your coin bought a newspaper reporting the end of the war, or perhaps it was saved in a child's piggy bank during the baby boom years. That is the magic of numismatics, the study of coins. Each piece is more than metal, it is a miniature time capsule of the past. When you hold a 1946 wheat penny in your hand, you are connecting with over 75 years of history. You are looking at a design that has inspired generations of collectors. And you are seeing how something as small as a cent can be worth far more than its face value, both emotionally and financially. So if you have an old jar of coins at home, or perhaps you inherited a collection from a family member, be sure to look closely. Check the dates, check the mint marks, and most importantly, check the condition. That ordinary-looking wheat penny might just be a 1946 Ultra Lincoln penny worth $42 or even more if it is a high-grade gem. In today's market, coin collecting continues to grow. Online auctions, coin shows, and collector communities are always searching for high-quality Lincoln wheat cents. As more time passes, these coins become scarcer in pristine condition, which only drives up their desirability. That is why learning about these coins now can give you a real advantage as a collector or investor. To wrap things up, the 1946 wheat penny is a perfect blend of history, beauty, and value. It represents the resilience of America after the war, the timeless design of Victor David Brenner, and the ongoing fascination collectors have with Lincoln cents. Whether you find one in circulation, in a coin shop, or tucked away in an old collection, remember that it is more than a penny. It is a treasure with a story, and in today's market it could be worth as much as $42 or more. Thank you for joining me in exploring this incredible coin. If you enjoyed learning about the 1946 wheat penny and its journey from everyday currency to collectible treasure, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into rare and valuable coins. Share this video with fellow collectors and drop a comment below if you have ever found or owned a 1946 wheat penny yourself. Until next time, keep your eyes on your change because you never know when the next rare treasure will appear right in your pocket. Would you like me to also create a shorter, more punchy version of this script for a fast-paced YouTube intro hook that grabs viewers in the first 30 seconds? Today we are diving deep into the world of American history hidden in your pocket change, And we are talking about one of the most exciting and fascinating coins ever minted, the 1956 wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent. This small 1-cent coin that many people overlook could actually be worth so much more than its face value, and believe it or not, collectors and coin lovers are paying big money for this coin, with certain conditions and rarities bringing its market value today up to $42 or even more in some special cases. So let us begin by taking a journey into the background of this coin, because every coin has a story, and the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is no exception. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is what the D stands for, and it was produced during a fascinating time in American history. The mid-1950s were a period of growth after the Second World War. America was booming, people were buying cars, televisions, and houses, but in their everyday transactions they still used the humble penny, a coin that carried the face of President Abraham Lincoln on one side and the famous wheat stalks on the reverse. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it replaced the Indian head penny design. It was the first time in American history that a real president appeared on regular circulating coinage, which was a groundbreaking decision back then, because before, Lincoln coins featured symbols of liberty, not actual presidents. So the Lincoln penny was a major shift in the history of U.S. coinage, and by 1956 it had already become a familiar part of American life. But the story of the wheat reverse design was coming to an end, because just 2 years later, in 1959, the reverse would change from wheat ears to the Lincoln memorial design. Now the 1956 wheat penny was minted in huge numbers. More than 1 billion coins were produced. But here is the secret that makes this coin so fascinating. Even though there are so many, not all of them are equal. Collectors are not only interested in how many were made, but also in their condition, their grade, and whether they have rare errors or varieties that make them stand out from the crowd. Let us talk about the value and why collectors chase these coins even today. If you pull out a 1956 penny from circulation in a worn condition, it may only be worth a few cents above face value, but when you find one in pristine condition with sharp details and a beautiful red luster that has been well preserved, the value skyrockets. Those gems can easily reach prices around $42 in today's market, and that is just for a single penny. Think about that, turning 1 cent into more than $40 sounds almost unreal, but that is the beauty of coin collecting. And let me tell you, the story does not end there, because some 1956 pennies come with fascinating errors and mistakes from the mint, which can make them even more valuable. For example, doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes can turn an ordinary coin into a treasure. A collector might happily pay much more than the standard $42 if your coin has one of these rare errors, and that is why many collectors take out magnifying glasses and examine these old wheat cents carefully. Every detail matters when it comes to rare coin value. Beyond the numbers and prices, there is also the deep history that makes this coin special. Abraham Lincoln is remembered as one of the greatest presidents of the United States, a leader who guided the nation through the Civil War and worked to end slavery. His portrait on the penny is a reminder of freedom, courage, and leadership. So when you hold a 1956 wheat penny in your hand, you are not just holding a piece of copper, you are holding a piece of American history that connects you to a greater story. Now let us imagine this: you find a jar of old coins, maybe in your attic, maybe in a grandparent's collection, maybe tucked away in a box, and among those coins you see a wheat penny with the year 1956 and the D mint mark. Suddenly what looked like an ordinary coin could actually be a miniature treasure if the condition is right, or if it has an error it could be worth dozens of dollars, and some collectors would be eager to add it to their collection. That is why collectors all across the world still search for these pennies. They know that even though millions were struck, most were spent and worn down in daily life. Only a small fraction survived in near perfect condition, and those are the coins that bring the highest prices. The $42 mark is an average figure for high-grade examples, but in reality the best preserved coins can sometimes sell for even higher at auctions and coin shows. So my advice to you is this: always keep your eyes open when handling pennies, especially older ones from the wheat series. You never know when you might find a 1956 wheat cent hiding in plain sight. Check the condition. Look for that sharp red copper shine, and examine it closely for any unusual doubling or mint mark errors, because you might just be holding a coin that collectors dream of owning. To wrap this up, the 1956 wheat penny may be small, but it carries huge value both historically and financially. It represents an era of post-war America, the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln, and the end of the beloved wheat reverse design. And even though it is only a 1-cent coin, under the right circumstances its Market value today can easily be $42 or more, making it one of the most exciting finds for any coin collector. So next time you look at your change, do not dismiss that little penny, because hidden among the ordinary coins you might just find a piece of American history worth far more than its face value. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, maybe you will discover your own treasure in the form of a 1956 Lincoln wheat penny worth much more than just 1 cent. Would you like me to make an even longer version with more detailed breakdown of error types and grading values, so it sounds like a full 15 to 20 minute YouTube script? Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins of American history, a coin that collectors absolutely love to talk about and search for. This is the 1957 wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent, and let me tell you, this little 1 cent coin is worth much more than its face value. Some of these ultra-conditioned coins have shocked collectors with their market value reaching into the tens of dollars, even hundreds in rare cases. And in today's video we will break down exactly why this 1 cent coin is worth so much money and why you should be on the lookout for it. Now let us start with a little bit of history. The wheat penny, also called the Lincoln wheat cent, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It became the very first United States coin to feature a real person, and it quickly became one of the most popular coins ever minted. On the reverse side of the coin you will notice 2 stalks of wheat curving along the edges, which is why it is called a wheat penny. This design stayed on the penny until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse that many of us are familiar with today. So the 1957 penny is among the last years of this iconic wheat design, making it extra special for collectors. Now what about that little letter D on the 1957 penny? That mint mark D stands for the Denver Mint, where this coin was struck. In 1957 alone, the Denver Mint produced a staggering number of wheat pennies, over 1 billion pieces in circulation, which makes it one of the higher mintage years. However, do not let that fool you. Even though there were millions upon millions produced, the condition, the mint errors, and the survival of high-grade coins is what determines their true value in the market today. So let's talk value. If you have a regular circulated 1957 wheat penny, the kind that has been used in everyday change and has signs of wear, it might only be worth a few cents above face value, maybe 5 cents to 20 cents depending on condition. But if you have one in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks brand new and has been preserved without scratches, without heavy wear, that value can rise quickly. Collectors are always hunting for those mint state examples graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. A bright red 1957 wheat penny in high mint state grades can sell for $20, $30, and in some auctions we have seen values around $42 or more. That is right, a tiny 1 cent coin could be worth over $40 just because of its preservation and rarity in top grades. But wait, it gets even more exciting. The world of error coins makes the 1957 wheat penny even more desirable. Some coins were struck with doubling on the obverse, meaning you can see doubled letters on words like Liberty or In God We Trust. Others might have off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or even repunched mint marks where the letter D was punched into the coin more than once, creating a shadow effect. These rare errors can skyrocket the price of the coin from just a few dollars to hundreds of dollars depending on how dramatic the error is. For example, a sharp double die error or a bold repunched D mint mark could bring a collector's bid of several $100s at a coin auction. Another important detail collectors look at is the color of the penny. When it comes to wheat cents, the grading scale uses terms like brown, and red. A completely red coin that has been well preserved with its original copper shine is far more valuable than a brown coin that has lost its luster. That means if you happen to find a 1957 penny that is bright red, almost glowing, you could be holding a true treasure in your hand. Now let us reflect on the bigger picture. The wheat penny series is beloved by collectors because it tells a story of American history. Think about it, in 1957 when this coin was minted, Dwight D. Eisenhower was the President of the United States, Elvis Presley was rising in popularity, and the world was on the edge of the space race with the launch of Sputnik. That 1 cent coin you hold today is more than just copper, It is a time capsule that connects you directly to that era. Every scratch, every shine, and every mint mark has a story to tell. So why do collectors go crazy for the 1957 wheat penny? It is because it represents the final years of the wheat design. It exists in large numbers, but only a fraction survive in high condition, and the thrill of finding that perfect mint error or ultra-red specimen makes it a true collector's dream. The current market value for common uncirculated coins hovers around $42, but rare examples can easily surpass that number, making this small cent a big deal in the numismatic world. So the next time you are looking through your pocket change, your piggy bank, or maybe even an old coin jar that has been sitting in the attic, pay close attention to those pennies. You never know when you might stumble across a 1957 wheat penny, and who knows, it might just be one of those ultra-valuable coins that could put real money back in your pocket. Thank you for joining me today on this exciting journey into the world of the 1957 Ultra Lincoln wheat penny. If you enjoyed learning about the history, the hidden value, and the fascinating stories behind this coin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with other coin enthusiasts. There are so many hidden treasures still waiting to be discovered, and together we will keep uncovering the secrets of the coins that tell the story of America. Would you like me to stretch this script into an even longer documentary-style version with more storytelling, comparisons to other wheat pennies, and auction case studies so it can run well over 15 to 20 minutes?